Okay, so we got a pretty quick game here actually. If you look at the top right hand corner of this screenshot, you'll see 14 minutes and 28 seconds. I'm playing on Confluence. It's a 1v1 ranked, and I am KT as usual. My opponent is Japan. In terms of ranks, I am Diamond 1 and my opponent is Platinum 1. So slight disparity there. However, the matchups take into account ELO, so XP, as well as ranking system. So if we look at the top of the banners, here we can see my opponent has 386 to my 171, so more than double. And that's how we get the matchup here. So let's go into the replay. And you can see my cursor moving around here. We see there's a mouse there, and that's because I'm going to cast using a mouse and keyboard. And it's something I would strongly encourage Xbox players to do when you look back at your replays. Use your keyboard and mouse. It's much easier, way more features available as well. So F on the keyboard will remove the fog of war. / will take you over to your scout, and M will bring up the mini map, so you enlarge it or shrink it down, which I think is really cool, because then you can get a really good view of this entire map, and it's a pretty big map. So when it comes to casting, I think that really helps. Have a look for a little bunch of 4 sheep here, which is great, and that's what you will find on this map. Like this little sector here, you're going to find like most of the sheep are going to be in there. These ones, the empty ones, not so many. So make sure you get the sheep that are close by. And I'm doing a little drop off here, and that's because, as I said, it's a big map. So let them guys get home. Look, I've got the other 2, and then I want to just continue uncovering the rest of this map. So my opener here is going to be a standard 1. I'm not doing a 2 TC build because we're going up against Japan, so it's a fast castle. So if I want to apply pressure early, so you can see here I'm rallying to food. First 2 vills went over to gold, and then everything else is going to food. So we get the age up. So I'm looking to age up ASAP. Probably going to go up about 14 villagers. So yeah, 400 food, 200 gold, and as soon as I age up, I want to go into safe passage straight away, instantly. And because we've got our sacred site literally a stone's throw from our town hall, I definitely want to take advantage of that, the passive income of the pilgrims. Like playing against French or Night Civs is hard to do, right? You might have to delay it. But here, for sure, 100%, we need to take advantage of that. So age up, almost there, but the extra villagers. So as I said, 14. I'm going to be going up with 14 vills, and that's a good number. Here it is in Q. Melee units gain 15% damage. Okay, that's going to be very important. So 2 vills on gold, come off, jump onto food. The one that pops out, went onto wood, and all the food vills on wood. So that's 12. Let's have a look at my scout. So I bump into his scout as well, and he had the inside path, but I cut across, and look at that, I found a nice little double there, and he's got to watch me do it, so it's a bit annoying. And then I actually he ends up in my wake, which is it's very frustrating if you find yourself in that position, but for me it was a little bit of a touch, so that was cool. Oh, and yeah, picked up another sheep there. So age up goes in straight away, as I said, safe passage. So once the village is going to queue, and then as soon as that village is done, safe passage. Now, because I've got the 2 on food, and all this on wood, I know that I've got enough food to put down my first production building, sorry, enough wood. And then while this is going in, I'll still have enough wood to go straight into sanctuary. So another veil goes in. Right, and look, 250, 150. Boom, straight into sanctuary. So I'm looking to get that passive income. And, you know, I don't necessarily have to go into sergeants. I don't have to use the commander unit. But I've got no one in gold, so my plan is to just use that passive gold to do my upgrades. When I go up with Principality of Antioch, my kind of general kind of idea is going to be, in terms of army composition, will be horseman, spear. All right, that makes sense because I'm getting 15%. So it's basically I'm going up with a +1 melee damage. So yeah, spears and horsemen. In this particular game, I end up using a lot of sergeants. So scouting his base finally, and I'm gonna just do a loop around the base, and I'm looking for production buildings, right? What if he's going in with archery range? I'm gonna be a bit worried. But look at this forge, which is a drop-off point, and it's on stone. So I'm like, oh, okay. And there's no villagers there, so he's gathered some stone, and he's looking to go to 2 town centers. So that's his feudal. And what does he need? Let me just check. So he's got enough stone. He needs 400 wood. So that's why he's thrown everyone on wood for that. Okay. Right. So, I mean, I see all this and I'm like, it gives me even more kind of motivation to go out on the map. So look at this, boom. I'm sending another. So I've got 10 vills, not making any towers. Survival techniques would have already gone in. And yeah, I just want to start pumping units. I've got double barracks. And look, stable going down. Simultaneously throwing down a blacksmith. Let's look at my scout. So I see the town hall. I know where it's located now. And that's fantastic. So now I had my general idea of what to do. And now I've, starting to figure out what I want to do next. So my scout is just uncovering the rest of this map. Okay. But because now I know I've got the intel. Right, he's done his recon. I know he's going to 2 town centre, and now I've confirmed where that second town centre is going to be. So, starting to rally over my units, sergeants. Reason for that is they are going to slice through buildings, and with this town centre being my focal point, it is it's weaker, right? It's only 2,500. Compared to the main town centre, which is 7,000, and main town centre can garrison 15, the second town centre can only garrison 8. So obviously sergeants are susceptible to ranged. Let's have a look. So as you see, strong versus melee units, weak versus range units. So they're going to be taking arrow fire. So that's why, as you see, iron on the mesh coming straight in. Horsemen as well. So I'm going to be focusing my attack initially on this second town centre. And now, if you look on the map, he's going up with a third town centre on the deer pack. So, because this map is so big, right? I can understand why civs would, want to try and go for an eco kind of approach. I would normally do that. I would normally go with Knights Hospitalier and maybe even look to do a second town centre myself. Maybe, I've got these berries here. Got the berries at the back and got 2 decent wood lines. I could have gone on this tier pack. Options were there, but in my head, I was like, nah, I don't want to play into that kind of game. This is a fast castle civ. I want to disrupt. So look, I'm rallying over to here. So if we look at my production buildings, you can see, I would like it if you had the arrow across the map as well, but you can see this is where I'm rallying to. And look, siege engineering, and I'm going in with increased melee damage +1. So that's like I'm going to have +2 because I went up with the +15%. Horsemen coming through. And as I say, my upgrades, I've actually ended up putting on, I rallied 4 over to gold because I'm going to, you know, I didn't see any archery ranges. I didn't see any production builders for that matter, but I'm going to be pumping sergeants, as you can see. Absolutely pumping. But at the moment, rallying wood. Got 4 on gold. Got my... I did actually have these guys on stone, right? And that was because at one stage, I was thinking, you know, when I saw the 2-town centre, maybe I should go 2-town centre as well. Don't want to get left behind. So I put some in the bank, and I was like, if I don't go 2-town centre, then I can, you know, make outposts and kind of strengthen them. So here's 2 villagers on their way over. So that was my plan, was to make an outpost over here to get vision, and also, you know, if I need to fall back. So rams. Remember, with KT, rams are cheaper. So 150 wood for a ram, and I'm not making archers. So, and I don't have to make lumber camps, right? So it makes sense, right, to go early in the game, because late game, you know, our siege, they're not as strong. We don't have gunpowder units. So in the early game, these rams are cheaper to produce. And because he's not making units, he's going to have a lot of problems. Making a little outpost just to get some vision, as I said. I'm not going to upgrade, it's like range attack, obviously not. But even melee defense +1, there's no need, because I'm just not sensing that I'm going to come across a big army. My main thing is attacking, taking out buildings, because these sergeants, you know, they're just going to cut through buildings like hot knife through butter, right? With those sergeants and these rams, that's my plan. And the horsemen I'm going to use to kind of raid to where his villages are around the town centres, where he's gathering food or whatnot. So yeah, quickly pause it and have a look at army value. Boom. Guy's way behind. He's too comfortable. Like, he hasn't had any harassment. You know, he hasn't sensed any aggro, and he's decided to be a bit too greedy and gone into his 3rd town centre. And he hasn't made any units. He hasn't. In fact, that's his first production building, which is a stables, and he's not even actually produced. He hasn't produced 1 unit. He's just got his scout. So, you know, in his mind, everything's going his way. You know, he hasn't had any disruption. He's on his way to castle. Yeah, look. In fact, here's his age up here. What is he aging up with? Oh, yeah, it's this, right? Yeah. So he's going up with this floating gate. Shinto priest, so he's going to be like, yeah, now I can gobble up the relics and then produce a scary army of mounted samurai that I will not be able to repel. So the timing was really, really good. It was really good for me, man. Like, I didn't wait. The crazy thing is, he sees, like, he scouts here, but it's just too late. So he sees my goon squad. Look, I'm actually going on boar here as well now. I'm actually going on deer over here as well, because I'm all in. So he's making this bannerman, mounted samurai, and then the mounted samurai. But as I said, it's just too late. Look, there's his scout. No, that's his scout's gone past already. There's his scout, just chilling. Oh my days. And he's just watching what's going on. And he's probably like, oh, like... So he's just like trying to make units. But as I said, it's too late, bro. Too late. Wheelbarrow, just to get my eco up, because I know his eco is going to be way ahead. In fact, let's pause it and have a look at that as I'm about to make the move. Right, so, okay, can't do it now because we've got this. I hate these notifications. They always come up in the middle there. So pause it. Okay, so he's got up to 1,000 almost, and they're going to be strong, but it's just too slow. He hasn't even got the production buildings. He's got one stable. Okay, the blacksmith went down early so he can put his upgrades in. But I mean, he's slow, bro. Like, he's not even making these units. He saw what went down. He went past me. But in terms of eco, I've got 39 villagers. He's got 66. So 66 and 4 to mine 39 and 41. So yeah, this is what's going to decide the game, really. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to cinematic mode. Oops, I press play first. And let's watch how the end pans out. It's literally going to be a few minutes left if you look on the timer. Yeah, so you've got 1 minute and 30 seconds left at this stage. So yeah, cut through this town centre. Literally, it's going to take seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Done. Take out houses. I'm going to grab these guys here because my scout is doing a little loop trying to find out, where I can attack. And yep, there you go. And there you go. Houses are down. Second town centre is about to fall. He's got his Shinto priest here, and he's other guys. He's going to do the Wallow, but I'm wise to it. And in fact, as soon as that happens, I'm going to send them over to kill his Shinto priest. And as soon as he sees what happens, taps out. Yeah, pretty even up until 8-minute mark, I guess. He obviously went eco, yeah, and I obviously went military. So massive contrast. Let's look at resources gathered. So interesting. I think having the passive income from the pilgrims helped me have a more steady bar there. But yeah, let's look at stats. It was quite an even split, actually. I'm on the bottom. Yeah, I'll wrap it up there. If you've got any questions, leave a comment in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.